Right, let's get to fixing this thing. Right then, since I funneled that last week, I've been racking my brain on which is the best way to do it. There's a few ways of fixing a funnel. You can do a standard plug. You can do a plug out of resin. You can turn it into like a cake stand. You can turn it into like a volcano bowl where the hump is in the middle. There's a load of ways of doing it, right? My original idea was I was going to go with the kind of like a cake stand method, but with a difference. But I've been looking at it, and I think that because of the size of the bowl, the torque will be too much on the joint, and it won't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a plug with an accent ring out of contrasting wood, and the accent ring is going to be black. So we'll go through this. Right, what I have in here is a piece of Thai Redwood, and it's between centers at the moment. All I want to do is round it down and get it into a chuck. So we'll do that, and we'll get on with this. Now, anybody who's seen my last video using Thai Redwood knows that it's extremely hard and it's extremely dense. Maybe round it. I'm not worried about cracks or anything. Right. Now we'll get this flattened off and get a tenon cut into it. Right, now we get the tenon into it. Loads left. There's a piece in this that keeps kicking. That is a nut. Not too worried about it. You can work around it. So it's extremely hard wood. And we get the angle in. Right, now we get this into a chuck. We can actually get working on it. See, there's a knot that I kept hitting just there. It runs out. Keeps making it jump. Right, now we're in the chuck. Much more solid. Check this one through the chuck, which it is. Now I gotta flatten this end off. This was just an off cut from that vase I did a while ago. What of this stuff? I'm just going to nibble this down, because if you're straightening out a piece of wood, especially if it's as dense as this, if you take too big of a bite, it's going to jump out of the chuck. So just take your time. Right, then we're in the chuck, we're all squared up and faced off, and next thing I want to do is measure the width of the hole. Right, but I want to measure it wider, because I want to nibble down to the size of the hole so that it's a good fit. This wood doesn't even like to be marked, it's so hard. Right, now I'm just going to nibble down to that using a parting tool. And I'm not using the full width of the parting tool either, because of how hard this wood is. Right. Just for those few cuts, parting tool is just a bit blunt. I'll just grab a diamond card, put an edge back on it. These diamond cards are great for just a quick re-edge of something. Right, just check that for size. Yeah, slightly big. So we'll take off another touch. As you can see, I'm going shallower than the hole than I actually need, just in case I go too far, and I can always just knock this off and go again. It's worth spending the time here. Yeah, that's it. It's worth spending the time getting that fit just perfect, because it helps with the glue up later. Now what you're after is, you want this standing a little bit proud of the bottom of the bowl. It's still slightly shallow. There we are. Now we're slightly proud there, which is what I'm after. Right. Right then. Now I have to sand that to make sure that the wood here can get good contact with the glue. So I'll grab a piece of 150 and just basically put a key here, because remember the outside of this is finished, has a finish on it. Even though this is actually going to end up cutting off when I'm doing the inside, I want a good solid contact on it, because as I said, there's going to be a lot of torque on this bowl because of the size of it. Right. Now I will actually be cutting all this off, and the only place the plug is going to be is here in the middle, but I want a good solid contact on that to make sure that that it doesn't go flying when I'm working on it. And now it's just a case of wood glue, not CA, wood glue. Right, so let's get some Gorilla wood glue on here. The spout on this blocked up on me, so I've got to use the old-fashioned method of a stick. As I said, I'm leaving it on the lathe because I want to use the lathe as a clamp. Now, you can use CA on this if you want. I just think wood glue is stronger. It's got a better grip to it. It adds time to doing it, but personal preference is to use wood glue. I'll be using CA when I'm putting the accent ring in, but for actually gluing the thing together, I prefer wood glue. Just set that in. Take that out of the way for a moment, so I don't need it. Then I'm going to grab the disc I use for taking off ends, taking off the bases of bowls, put it up there, bring up the tailstock, and as I said, use the lathe as a clamp. Right. And we'll leave that there. Right. So we'll leave that overnight to set, and I'll be back then. Be overnight for me, just a couple of seconds for you. Right now, it's been on the lathe overnight. Let's see if it's well stuck. Should be. Put that away. Yeah, good and solid. Right, now the next thing I want to do is level that off, and then we can put this accent ring in. So I can clear, I am, over a little bit more. Then put the speed. Now we level this off. This said, this is extremely hard wood. Very slightly low. Should be level there. We are. Now this trick will work. Let's just say you've done this and your joint isn't smack on, right? But I'm just doing this one for an accent. What I'm going to do is, with a parting tool, I'm going to go on both of those. Just put a slight cut into them so that it covers both the bowl and the plug. Right now, without taking it off the chuck, I'm going to take the bowl off. Now what I want to do is I want to fill that ring, and what I'm going to use is some bog oak sawdust. Just to fill that ring in. So just add a bit of something extra to it. Press it down into it. And then just thin CA, just like I was using it to fill a crack or something. Now, you give that a minute or two to go off, and then we do it again until we get that ridge I cut into it completely filled. Right, we're back on. The CA's gone off. Right, quick touch of negative rate scraper to get rid of the excess. And we're left with a nice black ring, just about ready for sanding. And the touch just there at the edge. There we go. Now we're left with a nice black ring ready for sanding. Right, so you can sand that. and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, just popping the wax off. I forgot to do the question and answer thing when I was doing the Yorkshire Grit. So we put that back in next week's video. So I just forgot to do it this time. Yeah. But I did get some feedback on last week's. I got a PM on Facebook. Someone was out there watching the video. I'm not going to say where this person was from or anything, right? But they told me I was wrong. They told me that the name of our patron saint's day was in fact Paddy's Day, and that I was wrong. No, it's not. It's Paddy's Day. Right. So if the person who PM'd me would like to PM me again, I'll explain it to them. Or at least I know somebody was watching the video. Right. And there we go. That is pretty. Now that little ring there can get you out of trouble. Like I did it on this one as a feature, but let's just say you've done this and that joint isn't smack on perfect, right? You can do that and you can actually hide the joint to make it like a feature. Like in this one I did it as a feature, I said I was going to do it from the start, but it's one of those little tricks that you pick up over the years. And can be a very handy one. Now all I've got left to do is to part this off, sand the bottom, and I'll give you a better look at it. So I'll do that, I'll be back in a minute. Right then, and there we have it. A fixed funnel on a large Tigerwood bowl. As I said, it's Tigerwood, that is Thai Redwood, and that is basically a ring of bog oak. That little ring technique can be very useful. Like if you just want, like I did in this one, if you just want to put an accent in, that's a good way of doing it. But it can get you out of trouble if you haven't got the joint between the plug and the bowl smack on, right? If there's a gap or something, you can use that technique to fill the gap. Right, well I hope you liked that one, and if you did, if you wouldn't mind clicking like on the video, be very much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.